Okay, so just drilling and tapping the holes, and I've done one already, and I have this together the way it would be normally. So I have one piece stacked on top of the other, and the reason why is we're just using scribe lines and punch marks to lay out those holes. So if I were to do them separate, there may be enough variation between them to make this not line up properly. So this way here, I can just drill straight through both and tap through both in the same setting. Then we can separate them, deburr the inside edges and everything, and then just go through two of the holes for clearance holes for the clamp screws, and everything will be perfectly in line. So I'm going to be tapping this for a 1/4-28, and I have a spot drill in here right now. So let's get going on this. And this is going to be number 3 drill bit. And this is a gun tap, so it's going to be pushing all the chips down and out. So you can see we're straight through on that one, and we're straight through on that one. So we go together just like that. Alright, so now all I'm doing right now is just deburring all the holes before I drill the clearance hole. Now they're all deburred, and this is going to go together just like that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want a clearance hole on one side on this one and the opposite side on this one, so that we can have opposing screws. So let me grab my clearance drill and then we'll drill those. Okay, so we're just going to drill the clearance holes, and I marked each piece just so I don't screw up. And it's just an H, and we're not going to be removing that much material, so I'm going to hand hold this. I know a lot of people get all up in arms about that, but it should be fine. Drill bit's got a little bit of the wobbles there, huh? Put that countersink in again real quick. And there we go. Alright, let me find some screws and put it together. Okay, so there's the finished product. And you can see that we open parallel to each other. And there will be a square milled in here at a 45-degree angle. So pretty much all you need to do for that milling operation, you can even use a triangular file and do it, is just get some scribe lines, put it in a milling vise at 45 degrees, and just nip a little slot in it. And just line up some scribe lines with the point, just like this one here. You can actually still see the scribe lines, and you'll be all set. You'll be able to pop a tap in there. This is a 5/8 tap, and that fits, I mean, with more than enough clearance in there. So even with the slot, you can have this probably go out to 3/4 of an inch if you wanted to, and then just clamp it down. And that's it for this. And that slot, I'll send this out to one of the other guys in the What's in Your Box Toolmakers group, and they'll be able to put the little slot in there. So that's one version, and then the next version we're going to do is going to be this one here. And this is just as simple, and this is nice in the fact that you don't need a tool to clamp it. You would just, loosen and tighten these. So separating it into its component parts here. This is what it is. So all this is here in the middle. These jaws are basically the same exact thing as the center section here. So I'm not even going to show making these. I'm just going to go ahead and make a set. Just cut 2 pieces of 1/2 inch to 2 inches long, and drill and tap it the exact same way I did these, even the same size, 1/4 28. So the only thing we got to make is, I'm going to show making, is these handles. Now you can go, this has a taper on it, you can go fancy and put the taper on it, or you can just use a straight piece 1/2 inch, whatever you want. And this is a 1/4 28 screw on there, and I believe this is 1 inch long. Yep, we're 1 inch there. So we'll turn this down to 1/4 inch, and we'll thread this. I'm not even going to bother single pointing it because it's such a small thread. I'll just use a die and a lathe. It's just easier and quicker. And we'll knurl this, and then we'll taper this. Now we're going to do it the same way. So I'm gonna knurl this first, okay? And then we'll be able to flip it around and then do the taper. And you can see that's the way I did it before. You can see on this one, you can actually see the chuck marks in it from where it was grabbed on the knurl with the chuck. Now I have a collet system on this lathe, so I'm going to able to grab this in a 1/2 inch collet without squishing those knurls. So we'll cut a piece here, this length here plus a 1/4 inch. Let's see what the actual length of this is. It's about 6 inches. Slightly over 6 inches, nothing really critical. So I'll cut a piece 6 1/4. That'll give me enough to face off and then also face out the center drill that we're going to put in there. And put the collet system in place in the lathe, and we'll start in on this. And we'll do the taper too. Might as well make it look fancy, right? Okay, so I forgot that the 1/2 inch will fit through the collet closer all the way. So I actually have a 3-foot piece in there. So we're going to be able to face this off, put the center drill in it, extend it, do all the work that we need, and then pot it off to the correct length. So right now we're just going to face that and pop the center drill in there. And let me go get my cutting oil. Okay. Okay. While we're here, just chamfer that edge. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to knurl this for approximately 2 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to make sure we have enough room going on. And that right there actually gives us plenty of room, and that's the least amount of stick out. So we'll run the knurling tool there. Lock everything down. Make sure the collet closes nice and tight. And now we got to set this up. So just clear the knurls. Okay, that's pretty good that way. And now we're just going to eyeball square. That looks pretty good there. So I'm going to give it an initial snug. Come back to the beginning here. I'm going to pop the, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna pop the knurl in place there. Give it just a little bit of tension. Lay them back here. I'm gonna rotate by hand, and I'm gonna see what we got for an impression. Okay, we got one wheel heavier than the other, so we actually got to go that way just a hair. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to mark 2.5 inches, and we'll be back after we finish knurling that. Okay, so we had a little bit of a problem crop up while I was knurling it in the collet. And the piece was actually moving into the collet. I couldn't figure out why, because the thing was tight. And I went to go look at the collet closer, and I had a bunch of slack right there. And what was happening was, for whatever reason, this pin here fell out, and it actually is a stress crack right there. And this whole piece, you can see, split on the hand wheel. And now all it is 2 pins, one here and one here, that goes into the tube so you can pass a piece of stock through it. So that'll be a repair job in the future, but for now I put it in the 4-jaw chuck and got it indicated. Now I have this halfway knurled, and we gotta kind of pick up that knurl. So here what you do is kind of spin the knurls with your finger as you're cranking it in, and you'll kind of feel them click right into the grooves where they want to go. And that should pick up the knurl. Okay, it looked like we picked it up pretty good, so I'm going to continue knurling. So here's that easy way of indicating again. We're gonna find our low spot, go to 0, find our high spot. We're gonna, that's just 5, so I'm gonna half that, just 2.5. Now set at 0 there, go to the next jaw, and we're gonna bring that into 0. Next jaw is already at 0. Next jaw in just a hair, and you can see that we're within about a half a thou, which is more than enough, but we can probably get that out. Yeah, that's less than half. That's my low. And my high is right about there. See if we can just get just a hair.
Nah, that's within a half. So let's go and go ahead and measure 1 inch. Let's put a little scribe mark there for right now. Just gonna face that off real quick. Okay, that's faced off. Okay, plenty of room to get in there. Change my tool around. I'm actually going to use the one that James had given me here. And it's going to measure in 1 inch. Let me right about there. Bring my little carriage indicator we're going to bring up. Lock it down. I'm going to set 0. Okay. I'm going to take that down to 1/4 inch. See how close we're tracking here. 325. should be pretty close. Right on the nose, take just a hair off with the file. Okay. Going to put in a relief groove right here. Okay. And there it is. Okay, so we got it all together and we're pretty much all set now. And it's just like the other one. The other one has a larger thread. The one that I made in high school, this is a 5/16 thread. I just did the 1/4 inch thread just because you know, I had a nice new fresh tap and drill for that. So same idea as this one. The only difference is these edges aren't tapered, which is, you know, like I said, purely cosmetic, but still doesn't look too bad. And the knurls, let me zoom in here, they didn't come out too bad, even though one of them, I'm not sure which one, we had to re-pick up again because the collar closer broke. So like I said earlier,
I kind of want to try my hand at making something along the lines of this. If that doesn't work out, then something along the lines of this. Down the road, we're going to look into that and talk to some of the guys that are in the tool build with me, and seeing if I do most of the machining on the outside here, if they could cut the flat, the center hole, and mill the notch. So I'm going to talk to them and see if that's an option. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.